Okay, good evening. So we're gonna keep this short and sweet. We're gonna be talking about the remake today, Resident Evil 4 remake. Then tomorrow, probably tomorrow or the next day, we'll do Silent Hill F. Then we'll go on from there. We're almost done. I'm looking for December 10th release for this. This is still gonna be a relatively long video. We'll probably be pushing 45 minutes, probably, hopefully not, but we'll see. Anyways, let's do the remake. Then whenever we get the chance, we'll do Silent Hill F, then Security Breach Road, and then we'll actually be done. Okay, so Resident Evil 4 remake. Because we talked about OG the other night. So the remake. Resident Evil 4 remake takes a different approach. Also, have a happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate Thanksgiving. Excuse me. Leon is still isolated, but okay, we can talk about this. His psyche. Okay, Leon is still isolated. Leon is still. Yeah, Leon is still physically isolated. But the game digs deeper. The game digs deeper into why isolation matters. Because now we'll deal with his psyche. The remake brings his past into light. No, the remake brings his past with him. Whether it's trading with Krauser, the Raccoon City incident. The weight of Raccoon City. Yeah, the weight of Raccoon City. How I felt when I was playing the remake, it felt like Leon was just mentally like exhausted. He wasn't the same as OG Leon, that very cocky bastard. But he felt it. Got the impression that he was just mentally exhausted. So the mental exhaustion he hides. Mental exhaustion he hides. And I guess the fear of failing again. Like, I love the fact that the remake gave you a different perspective on Leon, because we know how Resident Evil 4 Leon is. Moving in is very, very epic one-liners and not overconfident. He's just very confident. Also, don't drink unless you're an adult, but drink as much as you want tomorrow if you celebrate Thanksgiving. Okay. I can't wait to play this again for this video. It's gonna be fun. And the fear of failing again. And the fear of failing again. All this shapes how isolation functions in this version. The threats feel closer, that's for sure. The threats feel closer. The village, well, not just the village. The village definitely felt more. It was more claustrophobic. It's definitely more like congested. So we'll just say the environment. The threats feel closer. The environment. Yeah. The environment. No, the game world. The game world feels more suffocating. But like I said before, I'm looking to at least get this video out by December 5th. I'm not gonna really have a like lore video besides like the sprite animation video released this month. Like we were definitely bombarded with work this month in regards to like all this stuff. Because this one's a very complex one. and plus it's gonna be a longer one. I'm dealing with the Tsukihime one slash Melty Blood one, and I'm dealing with sprite animation stuff. So I've been pretty busy, and obviously I gotta be careful with this injury that I got, so I can't really type as much as I usually do. But we'll get this. We'll get this done. We'll get this at least released in the first week of December. It feels more. It does it? Yeah, it feels more suffocating. This time around, all right, we're gonna be cheeky because again, like you can tell from like a mile away, Leon's personality is completely. Well, it's not. It's kind of, sort of different. He feels more jaded in a sense. All right, and Leon's silence. We'll say silence. And Leon's silence. And Leon's silence carries more weight than his one-liners. Okay, so let's read what we have so far. Resident Evil 4 Remake. Whoops. Resident Evil 4 Remake takes a different approach. And I forgot to write that. I hate when that happens. Like you'll say what you want to write and just don't write it. Resident Evil 4 Remake takes a different approach. Leon is physically isolated. Okay. Leon is physically isolated, but now the game digs deeper into why isolation matters. The remake brings his past with him, the weight of Raccoon City. The weight of Raccoon City, the mental exhaustion he hides, and the fear of failing again. All this shapes how isolation functions in this version. The threats feel closer. The game world feels more suffocating. Again, like I definitely did feel more claustrophobic in this one. Like it wasn't as open as OG, obviously, because of how things have progressed over the years. And Leon's silence carries more weight than his one-liners. He's very, very, not very, very quiet. Like he's not as talkative as he was in OG. Of course, he isn't. The game digs deeper into his past too a little bit, because the game expects you to have played Resident Evil 2 Remake. Definitely does expect you to do that. Okay, I got this. Here, isolation becomes more emotional. Embarrassing. This game, it makes it seem like he hasn't moved on from the. Well, yeah, granted the situation, like what happened, of course, moving on would be like hard, but it gives you the sense that he hasn't moved on. This game gives you the sense that Leon is still haunted by his memories. The remake lets us feel. Let's players feel. Let's players feel. The remake lets players feel that heaviness without spelling it out. I think what really got me. Well, I had to remind myself when I was playing through it years ago. I'm like, oh yeah, the game takes place in the early 2000s. When you got actually spawned, like, whoa, that's a Razor. Holy crap, that's a Razor. Like, oh yeah, this does take place during that time period. It's not as bad as a two make with the USB. I'm like, wait, no, that makes no sense. Okay. So the remake lets players feel that heaviness without spilling it out, like because his interactions are like brief, but they still serve their function. His interactions feel brief. Yeah, they were brief before, but uh, his interactions feel brief and functional, but but it gives the impression that he has walls built around him. So now let's talk about. Well, let's read this again, just to make sure we got everything good. So, Resident Evil 4 Remake takes a different approach. Leon is physically isolated, but now the game digs deeper into why isolation matters. The remake brings his past with him, the weight of Raccoon City, the mental exhaustion he hides, and the fear of failing again. All this shapes how isolation functions in this version. The threats feel closer, the game world feels more suffocating, and Leon's silence carries more weight than his one-liners. I do miss those one-liners, by the way, but here isolation becomes more emotional. This game gives the sense that Leon is still haunted by his memories. The remake lets players feel the heaviness while spelling it out. His interactions with others feel brief and functional, but gives the impression that he has built walls around himself. As if he's afraid of what happens when those walls fall. Yeah. So why both these matter? Hmm. Both versions of the game, both versions of Resident Evil work. Hmm. No. No, we could do that. Both versions of Resident Evil 4 give two, not three. Oh my god. I will eventually do a video on three, but be careful with three because it's gotten a cult following. Like you can't talk bad about three without. I've been on Reddit too damn much. You can't talk bad about the Resident Evil 3 remake, or else you'll get downvoted into oblivion. That game has gotten a very weird cult following, and I don't understand why. Experiences of being alone. They highlight. They highlight how isolation shapes survival. Survival. The original gives off the vibe. The original gives off the vibe. Gives off the vibe that you're cut off. No one is coming. Mike. Gives off the vibe. Yeah. Gives off the vibe that you're cut off. And no one is coming. While the remake. While the remake. While the remake is different. No, while the remake, oh fuck, you're cut off. No one is coming. I haven't been cringy in a while. I have an idea what I want to do here, but it's been a little bit since I've been cringy as hell. When the while the remake gives off the vibe, is off the vibe that even if someone comes, okay, even if someone comes, you're not sure if you can reach back. Oh, that sounds terrible. Because he's still haunted by his past. Like even if he gets like, even if someone comes, like he still has that in his mind of what's going on. Because sure, the little expose in the beginning of the original game does say, "Oh, 6 years have passed since that horrendous incident." It's like, yeah, it looks like he's kind of sort of moved on. It's not holding him back, but remake's like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure he has not moved on. You can reach back. See, I'm TMing that. Both these games, both of these games, both of these games show that being in a horror setting, isn't just about the environment. Even being in a horror setting isn't just about the environment. About the environment. It's about what the environment pulls out of the character. It's gonna be hard with Silent Hill F because I'm pretty sure it's been over a month. I'm pretty sure people have beaten it, but I still want to make it still like spoiler free. God, that game is awesome, but man, they get you with the gang fights. Whether it's how do I think about Leon in both games? He's resilient. Whether it's resilience, he's very resilient. Whether it's resilience, pressure because he's pressured to save Ashley, pressure, and we'll throw something on the left field. It's about what the environment pulls out of the character. Whether it's resilience, pressure, parts of themselves they don't want to face. All right, I think we're good. I think we're actually good here. So, curse these old eyes of mine. All right, let's see what we. Oh damn, yeah, this is gonna be long. All right, case study 1. Resident Evil 4 original and remake. Two versions of the same story, but two different versions of isolation. Resident Evil 4 is interesting because on paper, Leon isn't alone. He's sent on a mission. He has support. He communicates with people, and he has Ashley and Ada. Yet both the original and the remake make him feel isolated, just in different ways. In the original game, Leon's isolation comes from separation, not emotional separation, but literal physical distance. The entire environment from the village to the island section is open, almost spacious, but none of it feels like it belongs to him. Enemies appear in numbers and serve a role as obstacles. Even his moments of communication, such as with Hunnigan, feel like lifelines tossed in a hostile ocean. I am TMing that because it actually took a little bit to actually come up with that analogy. Even his moments of communication, such as with Hunnigan, feel like lifelines tossed in an ocean. They give you information, but no sense of presence. The game's design reinforces this distance. The fixed aiming, the limited movement, the tight over the shoulder perspective. They keep the player anchored to the idea that Leon only has himself to rely on. You're equipped, but not supported. Leon in the original Resident Evil 4 doesn't internalize isolation, he tolerates it. He keeps his personality intact because that's the only real armor he has. I like it. Resident Evil 4 Remake takes a different approach. Leon is physically isolated, but is still physically isolated. Leon is still physically isolated, but now the game's deeper into why isolation matters. The remake brings his past with him, the weight of Raccoon City, the mental exhaustion he hides, and the fear of failing again. All this shapes how isolation functions in this version. The threats feel closer, the game world feels more suffocating, and Leon's silence carries more weight than his one-liners. Here, isolation becomes more than emotional. More than emotional? No, I think no. That's here. Isolation becomes more emotional. This game gives the sense that Leon is still haunted by his memories. The remake lets players feel that heaviness without spelling it out. His interactions with others feel brief and functional, but it gives the impression that he has built walls around himself, as if he's afraid of what will happen. He's afraid of what happens. I don't know why I wrote that. But what happens when they fall? Both versions of Resident Evil 4 give two different experiences of being alone. They highlight how isolation shapes survival. The original gives off the vibe that you're cut off and no one is coming, while the remake gives off the vibe that even if someone comes, you're not sure you can reach back. both, both games show that being in a horror setting isn't just about the environment. It's about what the environment pulls out of the character, whether it's resilience, pressure, or parts of themselves they don't want to face. Save it. All right, good stuff. I think we're good. Next time we'll do this, we'll start with Silent Hill. We'll do Silent Hill F. That's the next case study. And the following case study will be Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Ruin. So we are making good headway. Good stuff. All right, good shit. Enjoy your Thanksgiving if you celebrate it. I'll have a 4-day weekend, so I'm still gonna be working on this during that time period. Anyways, have a good one. Happy holidays, and we'll see people the next time I stream this.